The university campus buzzed with activity, the crowded parking lot filled with expensive cars and wealthy students. A luxury sports car suddenly broke down in the middle of the lot, drawing curious crowds of onlookers and concerned bystanders. A single father wearing a worn work shirt walked by, holding his young son's hand gently. Students burst into mocking laughter. What could that poor guy possibly know about expensive cars like this one? The father calmly knelt down beside the silent engine, beginning his careful examination. Minutes later, a powerful roar filled the air and the entire crowd fell completely silent, unable to laugh anymore. Meet Thomas Reed, 38 years old, single father, tall, lean frame, brown hair, hands roughened and calloused from years of honest manual labor. His son Noah, 10 years old, bright and curious, constantly asked his father questions about everything, eager to understand how the world worked around them. Thomas worked daily at a small automotive repair shop in their modest neighborhood, earning wages that barely covered their basic living expenses, but provided enough to care for Noah. The shop was located in the working-class section of town, surrounded by other small businesses struggling to survive in an increasingly difficult economy. Thomas had built a reputation among local customers for honest work, fair prices, and reliable repairs that kept older vehicles running for families who couldn't afford new cars. After his wife's tragic death 3 years earlier, Thomas had devoted every ounce of his energy and attention to raising Noah with love, patience, and unwavering dedication. Former neighbors and old friends often looked down on his life choices with obvious judgment. He threw away his entire future just to tinker with broken machinery all day. These comments hurt more than Thomas let on, but he remained focused on what truly mattered, being the father Noah needed during these crucial childhood years. Thomas remained silent in the face of their criticism, focusing entirely on walking Noah to school, helping with homework, reading bedtime stories every evening without fail. Noah admired his father completely, often declaring with absolute confidence, "Daddy can fix absolutely anything that's broken, no matter how complicated it seems to other people." The small apartment they shared above the repair shop was modest but warm, filled with Noah's artwork and school projects celebrating their close relationship. Their home reflected their circumstances: secondhand furniture, library books instead of new purchases, and meals cooked from scratch to stretch their limited grocery budget. Thomas had learned to stretch every dollar through careful budgeting, shopping at discount stores, cooking simple meals, finding free entertainment for Noah's enjoyment and education. One weekend, the local university organized a science fair open to community families, and Thomas decided to take Noah for educational inspiration and exposure. He hoped the event would spark Noah's interest in science and engineering, despite their financial inability to provide expensive educational resources or private tutoring. The campus was filled with well-dressed students and wealthy parents, everyone wearing expensive clothes that highlighted Thomas and Noah's simple, practical outfits. The contrast was immediately apparent: luxury cars in the parking lot, designer clothing on the attendees, and casual conversations about expensive vacations and private schools. When other attendees noticed father and son in their humble clothing, many responded with barely concealed looks of disdain and social superiority. Thomas felt the familiar sting of class prejudice, but refused to let Noah see his discomfort, instead focusing on the educational opportunities the event provided. Noah tugged his father's sleeve with concern. "Daddy, are we different from these other people? Did we do something wrong by coming here today?" Thomas smiled reassuringly, kneeling to Noah's eye level. "Being different doesn't mean being wrong, son. It just means we have our own special way of living." His gentle wisdom helped Noah understand that their worth wasn't determined by their appearance or financial circumstances, but by their character and love for each other. The university's science fair showcased impressive student projects in engineering, robotics, and automotive technology, fascinating both father and son with innovative displays. Thomas observed everything with professional interest, his experienced eye recognizing sophisticated mechanical principles that most visitors couldn't fully appreciate or understand. Noah asked countless questions about the exhibits, and Thomas patiently explained complex concepts in simple terms that his curious son could easily understand and remember. Despite their modest circumstances, Thomas had always prioritized Noah's education, borrowing library books about science and engineering, encouraging exploration and learning at every opportunity. Their evening routine included homework help, science experiments with household items, and discussions about how machines worked and why engineering mattered in daily life. Thomas's background remained hidden from most people. Before his wife's death, he had been a successful automotive engineer with a promising career trajectory. He had voluntarily abandoned professional advancement to focus entirely on single parenthood, choosing Noah's emotional needs over his own career ambitions and financial security. The decision had cost him significantly in terms of income and social status, but Thomas never regretted prioritizing his son's well-being over professional recognition or material success. Noah's innocent faith in his father's abilities reflected years of watching Thomas solve problems with creativity, patience, and practical knowledge gained through experience. Before entering the main science fair building, Noah handed his father a crayon drawing he had made that morning. The artwork showed a stick figure, father and son, with words written in careful child handwriting. "Daddy is my hero forever and always." Thomas felt tears form in his eyes as he looked at his son's gift, understanding that Noah's love made every sacrifice worthwhile. The contrast between their humble appearance and the wealthy campus environment created perfect conditions for what was about to unfold. Thomas's quiet confidence and Noah's eager curiosity would soon challenge everyone's assumptions about worth, intelligence, and the true meaning of success. In the university parking lot, an expensive sports car belonging to a wealthy businessman's son suddenly stopped running, its sophisticated engine falling completely silent. Students and faculty members gathered around the disabled vehicle, many offering suggestions while several engineering students attempted various diagnostic procedures without success. The car's frustrated owner shouted angrily at the growing crowd, "This is exactly why tuition money gets wasted. Nobody here can solve a simple mechanical problem." Thomas and Noah stood nearby, observing the commotion, Noah's natural curiosity drawing him closer to see what was happening. With the expensive automobile, a group of arrogant students noticed father and son approaching, pointing and laughing mockingly. "Look at that poor guy! He probably doesn't even know how to open the hood." Their cruel comments drew more attention from the crowd, with several people joining in the ridicule despite having no idea about Thomas's actual knowledge or experience. Thomas remained calm and dignified despite their verbal attacks. But Noah whispered with innocent concern, "Daddy, should we try to help them fix their car?" The suggestion touched Thomas's heart, reminding him of Noah's natural kindness and desire to help others even when they had been unkind first. Thomas approached the group slowly and respectfully, speaking with characteristic humility. "Would it be possible for me to take a quick look at the engine problem?" The crowd erupted in louder laughter and disbelief. "Someone like you thinks he can fix what engineering students couldn't figure out in an hour of trying." Several students made additional cruel comments about Thomas's appearance, his modest clothing, and their assumptions about his education and social background. Thomas ignored their mockery completely, focusing entirely on Noah's encouraging smile and the mechanical challenge presented by the silent sports car engine. While the crowd continued their ridicule, Thomas began his systematic examination of the vehicle, following a logical diagnostic sequence. Based on the symptoms, his movements were precise and confident, demonstrating years of hands-on experience working with similar automotive systems. Even if not on vehicles, this expensive Noah stood proudly beside his father, completely confident in Thomas's abilities, despite the surrounding mockery from students and other observers. Thomas quickly identified the problem, a loose connection in the fuel injection system that had been overlooked by the other would-be mechanics. The issue required specific technical knowledge about high-performance engines, an understanding of how electronic systems interacted with mechanical components. Working efficiently and methodically, Thomas located the loose connector, cleaned the contacts, and secured the connection properly using techniques learned through years of experience. His diagnostic approach impressed several faculty members who had been quietly observing from the edge of the crowd. Recognizing professional-level expertise, Noah watched every movement with fascination, asking quiet questions that Thomas answered patiently while continuing his repair work on the expensive vehicle. The car owner and surrounding students grew quieter as they realized that Thomas was demonstrating genuine technical competence rather than random guessing. Thomas completed his repairs quickly and efficiently, then asked Noah to step back before attempting to start the engine for the first test. When Thomas turned the ignition key, the powerful engine immediately roared to life with perfect mechanical harmony. Running smoothly without any hesitation, the entire parking lot fell into stunned silence, broken only by Noah's excited celebration. "I knew Daddy could fix it. Daddy, he always fixes everything." The car's owner stood speechless, clearly embarrassed by his earlier dismissive attitude and the crowd's cruel treatment of someone who had just solved their problem. Several engineering students began asking Thomas technical questions about his diagnostic approach, suddenly recognizing they had witnessed something remarkable from someone they had underestimated. Thomas simply closed the hood calmly, showing no desire to embarrass anyone or prove his superiority, his satisfaction coming from solving the challenge. Noah hugged his father tightly, whispering with pure pride and love, "Daddy, you're the smartest person in the whole world, even smarter than college students." The meaningful moment arrived when an elderly professor approached Thomas, speaking with obvious respect and professional recognition. "Those diagnostic techniques," the professor said quietly. "Only someone with advanced engineering training could have identified that specific problem so quickly and efficiently." The crowd began murmuring among themselves, suddenly reassessing the quiet man they had dismissed and mocked just minutes earlier. Several students who had participated in the cruel laughter now looked ashamed, beginning to understand they had misjudged someone based on superficial appearances. Thomas remained humble and gracious despite his vindication, more concerned with teaching Noah about kindness than proving his own technical expertise. The incident revealed the stark contrast between genuine knowledge earned through experience and arrogant assumptions based on social class and appearance. Noah's unwavering faith in his father had been proven correct, while the crowd's prejudices had been exposed as both cruel and completely inaccurate. The professor's recognition hinted at Thomas's hidden background, suggesting there was much more to his story than anyone had initially suspected. Word of the parking lot incident spread rapidly throughout the university campus. "Unknown man fixes expensive sports car that stumped engineering students for hours." Students who had participated in the mocking began whispering among themselves, "Who exactly was that guy? How did he know so much about automotive systems?" An experienced mechanical engineering professor stepped forward with surprising information. That was Thomas Reed, former chief engineer for a major automotive manufacturer who disappeared years ago. Thomas's carefully hidden past began emerging through faculty discussions. He had once designed cutting-edge engines for international racing teams, earning industry-wide respect and recognition. After his wife's sudden death in a car accident, Thomas had abandoned his prestigious career to focus entirely on raising Noah, choosing fatherhood over professional advancement. The wealthy car owner, clearly embarrassed by the day's events, attempted to maintain his social superiority through defensive attacks. Regardless of his past, he's nothing but a poor mechanic now. He continued with obvious bitterness and class prejudice. Whatever he used to be doesn't change the fact that today he's just another working-class nobody. Thomas responded with characteristic dignity and calm wisdom. "I don't need recognition or validation from anyone here. I only need my son to know his father lives with integrity." Noah stepped closer to his father, gripping his hand with fierce pride and loyalty. "I'm proud of my daddy. He's the best father and the smartest person ever. Several students and faculty members began applauding spontaneously, recognizing both Thomas's technical expertise and his graceful response to unfair treatment. The atmosphere shifted dramatically as people realized they had witnessed something more significant than a simple car repair, a demonstration of character under pressure. Many students who had joined in the earlier mockery now approached Thomas with genuine apologies, ashamed of their cruel behavior and prejudiced assumptions. "We're sorry for laughing at you," one student said sincerely. "We judged you unfairly without knowing anything about your background or abilities." Thomas accepted their apologies graciously, using the moment as a teaching opportunity for Noah about forgiveness and second chances. The mechanical engineering department head approached Thomas with a formal offer. "Would you consider joining our faculty as a visiting professor, sharing your expertise with our students?" Thomas listened respectfully to the generous offer but declined politely. "My most important job is being Noah's father. That's the career that matters most to me now." His response demonstrated the depth of his transformation from ambitious engineer to devoted single parent, showing how his priorities had fundamentally changed. The symbolic moment arrived when Thomas quietly removed his old wedding ring, placing it carefully in his pocket while speaking softly to himself. "It's time to move forward into the future," he whispered, representing his emotional readiness to honor his wife's memory while embracing new possibilities. Noah observed this gesture with mature understanding beyond his years. "Mommy would want Daddy to be happy, and Daddy makes me happy every single day." The crowd witnessing this moment understood they were seeing something profound, a man choosing love over legacy, presence over prestige, family over fame. Thomas's calm response to both mockery and recognition revealed character traits that impressed everyone more than his technical abilities had. The incident exposed important differences between inherited privilege and earned respect, between social status and personal worth, between appearance and reality. Several faculty members quietly discussed offering Thomas consulting opportunities that would recognize his expertise while respecting his family priorities. The car owner's defensive reaction highlighted his own insecurities and revealed the emptiness of wealth without wisdom or character. Thomas's decision to prioritize fatherhood over career advancement challenged conventional definitions of success and professional achievement. Noah's consistent support provided Thomas with emotional strength to face both ridicule and recognition with equal dignity and composure. The university community began understanding that they had witnessed something rare. Authentic expertise combined with genuine humility and moral clarity. Students started discussing the incident in their dormitories and classrooms, using it as an example of how prejudice could blind people to truth. The professor who had recognized Thomas shared stories about his former reputation in automotive engineering circles, adding credibility to the day's revelations. Thomas's ability to remain gracious under both attack and praise demonstrated emotional maturity that impressed observers more than his technical skills. The entire incident became a powerful lesson about not judging people by their appearance, economic status, or current circumstances. Faculty members began incorporating the story into their lectures about engineering ethics, professional responsibility, and the importance of maintaining perspective. Thomas's choice to walk away from career opportunities in favor of family time represented values that resonated with many parents in the crowd. The day ended with Thomas and Noah walking quietly back to their modest car. Surrounded by respectful whispers and admiring glances, several students followed them at a distance, hoping to learn more about the man who had challenged all their assumptions about success and worth. The transformation was complete. Thomas had evolved from object of mockery to source of inspiration, from dismissed outsider to respected community member. Following the university incident, stories about the quiet father who fixed the sports car spread throughout the local community, creating unexpected opportunities and recognition. Thomas decided to open a small workshop in his garage, offering automotive repair classes to university students and curious community members seeking practical education. The decision represented a compromise between his professional expertise and his commitment to maintaining flexible time with Noah throughout his childhood years. Noah enthusiastically helped his father prepare for their first students, arranging simple chairs and creating a hand-painted sign reading, "Daddy and Son's Workshop." Their first students were several of the engineering students who had initially mocked Thomas, now returning humbly to learn from someone they had severely underestimated. Thomas taught with patience and kindness, holding no grudges against those who had treated him cruelly, focusing instead on sharing knowledge and building understanding. His teaching approach differed from traditional academic methods. He emphasized hands-on learning, practical problem-solving, and understanding why machines behaved in specific ways. Noah took pride in his father's growing reputation, proudly telling his classmates, "My daddy teaches college students about engines, and they think he's really smart." The workshop attracted students from diverse economic backgrounds, some seeking practical skills to supplement their theoretical education, others hoping to learn valuable trades. Together, father and son transformed their small backyard into an outdoor classroom space, planting flowers around the learning area to create a welcoming environment. The garden detail became significant. The previously neglected space behind their modest home now bloomed with life, echoing their own renewal and growth. Students began arriving from neighboring universities, drawn by word-of-mouth recommendations about Thomas's unique teaching approach and genuine expertise in automotive engineering. Thomas's philosophy emphasized understanding principles rather than memorizing procedures, encouraging students to think creatively about mechanical problems and innovative solutions. Noah often assisted during classes, demonstrating concepts through his artwork and helping younger students feel comfortable in the technical learning environment. The workshop attracted attention from parents who wanted their children to learn from someone who combined technical excellence with strong moral character. Thomas's reputation evolved from former engineer turned mechanic to mentor who builds both knowledge and character, attracting families who valued his educational approach. Local media wanted to feature Thomas's story, but he politely declined most interviews, preferring to let his work speak for itself. One afternoon, Noah asked his father directly, "Do you miss being a famous engineer like you used to be before Mommy died?" Thomas knelt down, speaking with characteristic gentleness and wisdom. "Now I have a more important job than I ever had before, raising you and helping you grow." His response captured the essence of his transformed priorities. Professional recognition meant nothing compared to the daily joy of watching Noah develop. The workshop became a gathering place where young people learned practical skills while developing confidence, problem-solving abilities, and respect for honest work. Students often commented on the unique family atmosphere. "Mr. Reed doesn't just teach us about engines, he shows us what it means to be a good person." Thomas's teaching attracted students from diverse backgrounds, some from wealthy families seeking practical knowledge, others from working-class homes hoping to learn valuable trades. The success of their small workshop demonstrated that Thomas could pursue professional fulfillment while maintaining his primary commitment to active, engaged fatherhood. Several universities began offering Thomas formal teaching positions, recognizing his ability to connect with students and explain complex concepts clearly. Thomas carefully considered each opportunity but ultimately chose to maintain his independence and flexible schedule that prioritized Noah's needs. Noah's artwork evolved to include portraits of his father teaching enthusiastic students, the workshop filled with learning, and their garden blooming around their home. The transformation was remarkable. Their modest home had become a destination for people seeking authentic education and proof that family relationships could thrive alongside professional success. Thomas's decision to remain in their community rather than pursuing prestigious academic positions proved that contentment came from presence, not prestige. Students began organizing fundraising efforts to help Thomas expand his workshop facilities, recognizing the value of his teaching and wanting to support his mission. The workshop's success attracted attention from automotive companies interested in Thomas's innovative teaching methods and practical approach to engineering education. Noah served as unofficial assistant instructor, his natural artistic abilities helping students visualize complex mechanical concepts through drawings and creative explanations. Their story inspired other parents to reconsider their own definitions of success, recognizing that being present for children's daily lives mattered more than career advancement. The morning routine they established represented perfect harmony. Thomas preparing for students while Noah got ready for school, both surrounded by evidence of their shared purpose. One bright morning, Noah burst into the workshop carrying his newest artistic creation, a detailed drawing showing himself, his father, and their classroom full of eager students. Thomas examined the artwork carefully, feeling overwhelmed with emotion as he realized the profound impact their simple workshop had created in their community. The drawing captured everything that mattered: their unbreakable father-son bond, the garage where Thomas shared knowledge with grateful students, and the garden representing growth and beauty. That evening, Thomas spoke to Noah with gentle sincerity and deep conviction. "If you still need Daddy to stay here with you, I will always choose to be exactly where you are." Noah hugged his father tightly, his voice filled with pure joy and complete security. "Daddy, that's exactly what I wanted to hear most in the whole world." His response confirmed what Thomas had always known. No professional achievement or academic recognition could compare to the daily privilege of being Noah's devoted, present father. The final scene painted a picture of perfect contentment and hard-earned happiness. Dawn light streaming through the workshop windows, illuminating Thomas as he prepared for another day. Noah ran freely around their garden space, his laughter filling the morning air with pure happiness. While flowers bloomed brilliantly in the background, the workshop had become more than a business or teaching space. It was a testament to Thomas's ability to pursue his passion while maintaining unwavering commitment to fatherhood. Students continued arriving each day, drawn not only by Thomas's technical expertise, but by the example he set of balancing professional excellence with family devotion. The university engineering department maintained contact with Thomas, seeking his advice on curriculum development and teaching methods that connected theory with practical application. Noah's confidence had transformed completely. From a child uncertain about his place in an academic environment to a boy proud of his father's remarkable talents and character. The garden served as a living symbol of their growth together, carefully tended, patiently nurtured, producing beauty that reflected the love they had cultivated over years. Thomas's story demonstrated that success could be redefined. Instead of climbing corporate ladders, he had built a life centered on love, learning, and meaningful relationships. The workshop attracted families from throughout the region, parents recognizing that their children would learn more than mechanical skills from Thomas's patient, wisdom-filled teaching. Their modest home had become a beacon of authentic education, genuine mentorship, and proof that family relationships could thrive alongside professional accomplishment. Thomas's decision to remain in their small community rather than pursuing lucrative academic opportunities elsewhere proved that contentment came from presence, not prestigious positions. The morning routine they had established represented perfect harmony. Thomas beginning work with students while Noah prepared for school, both surrounded by evidence of their shared happiness. Their story offered a powerful message about priorities, that being present for a child's daily life mattered more than any career achievement or social recognition. The workshop's success had attracted media attention, but Thomas continued declining most interviews, preferring to let his work and relationship with Noah speak for themselves. Noah's artwork now decorated the workshop walls, his drawings inspiring students, while demonstrating the creative possibilities that emerged when children felt supported and valued. The transformation was complete. Thomas had created a life that honored his professional gifts while prioritizing the relationship that mattered most to his heart. Their garden continued blooming season after season, requiring daily attention just like their father-son bond, producing beauty through consistent care and unconditional love. Thomas's legacy was being written not in engineering textbooks, but in the lives of students he mentored and the son he raised with wisdom, patience, and devotion. The peaceful scene represented the reward for choosing love over ambition, presence over prestige, and authentic relationship over superficial success and social climbing. Family isn't built through fame or fortune, but through the daily choice to love, support, and remain committed to those who matter most in life. Subscribe to our channel for more stories celebrating the power of choosing family over fame and the courage to define success through love rather than money.